Hello, my name is Arun Malan,
And I'm Oviya.
and this is a special day because my older daughter Oviya is moving in from Alabama to Ohio to her college, Case Western Reserve University. So it's a special day for us, and also this is my first vlog, as my daughter says, and any mistakes in this vlog, please forgive us. And I have no idea how to record, and this is just a memory. Down the lane, I want us to go back and watch, feel happy or feel weird about our vlog. And when we are doing this recording, I remember we can do something. This is a 10 hours drive. Speak about something which is productive and also useful to others. So on that line, I like to discuss about something. Oviya got into a program called BSMD. It's called PPSP in Case Western. It's an 8-year direct medical program. So, last summer, from the month of May till now, the families or some seniors approached us for various advices, suggestions, and getting some feedback about their kids' profile, etc. So I thought, why don't we use this time to record something and get this information out and be helpful. But please do not take everything so seriously. If any mistake in this video, please forgive us, and also don't take it as like a professional advice. This is the experience, what we went through, what worked for Oviya, what as a parent, how we helped each other. So it's kind of conversation is towards that. Let's start. So the next question is, what is BSMD program? Oviya, can you go ahead and explain that?
The BSMD program, its full term is like Bachelor of Science and Doctor of Medicine program, that some colleges that have a medical school associated with them offer across the United States. And sometimes it's usually an 8-year program, but sometimes there's more accelerated paths like 7-year or even 6 years. But I'm doing an 8-year program, so I go through the usual 4 years of undergrad, and then the medical school associated with the college will have reserved a spot for me in their medical school, and I'll matriculate into it for the next 4 years, making a total of 8 years. And I have a conditional acceptance to medical school, so it's not a guaranteed, which means that there are still like prerequisites that I have to fulfill. So I have to take the MCAT like any traditional pre-med student would do, and I have to fulfill a certain number of volunteer hours and shadowing hours, and as long as I fulfill those, I'll still have my seat reserved. And so that's each college has its own requirements. Each college that has the BSMD program has their own unique requirements that you need to follow. So yeah, that's what BSMD is.
So something what she missed out, which I like to cover is, as she mentioned, most of these BSMD programs are conditionally accepted. Maybe there are few, it says 100% guaranteed, like Brown, which doesn't have kind of an MCAT or any other requirements, but still they do have one thing, which is like any colleges, you need to meet a certain GPA requirement, which is also applicable to Brown, and also with most of these colleges have an MCAT requirement. What Oviya described, they set a bar little minimum. It's not like if you come after undergrad and apply for a medical, it's they do have to meet a certain minimum requirement plus the volunteering, what is you mentioned. So there are 3 conditional requirements which you need to meet in this 4 years. so that your spot is 100% guaranteed. If the GPA goes down, or your MCAT score you didn't meet it, or you didn't cover those volunteer requirement, of course, they have the possibility to withdraw you from that guarantee seat. So which is like most kids will do it, but just to let you know. The next question is, who should apply to this BSMD program, or to whom this BSMD program is advantage? Oviya, you want to cover this?
Anyone that is certain about taking the medical path and is determined to become a physician, and they're sure they're not going to change their minds about it, should be interested in these types of programs. And those that are still unsure about which area they want to go into, if they are interested in the sciences and they might want to go to medical school, but they're still not sure, should use college, as it's not that big of a deal, and they can still use college to explore different areas until they're certain about which path they want to stick to. But BSMD programs is for anyone that's completely 100% sure that the medical route is right for them.
That is correct. So as you mentioned, like if you're very, very certain, then it is, there is a program out there you can apply and take an advantage of it. If if it is not, do not even have to worry. You take your regular path and do whatever the major you're interested in, and eventually you figured out that I do like to explore the medical area. Of course, you can go ahead and try out later on. There is a regular path. You're coming out of graduating out of high school like in 17 or 18. I'm pretty sure you're not 100% sure about what you want to become, and you don't have to know what you want to become. There is, you guys are too young. There is so much to explore out there. Go and explore and do it. My next topic is related to what different types of BSMD programs available out there, and I better cover this part. There are 3 different types. One is a 6-year BSMD program, there is a 7-year BSMD program, and an 8-year BSMD program. 6-year seems to be too accelerated. It's 2 years of undergrad and 4 years of medical, of course, and the 7 years is 3 years of undergrad and 4 years of medical, and 8 years 4 plus 4. The medical years doesn't change, only the undergrad years change. So that's where it varies. When we started, we definitely did not look into 6 years at all, because we know we do not want that kind of pressure. It's too much pressure. 7 years, it's kind of, we felt it is also under pressure, but I'm going to cover later on Oviya how she's going to plan her undergrad and the medical, which is also kind of covers a 7-year, not an 8-year, but that's a topic next. But these are the 3 different kind of BSMD programs out there available. And also there is something called BSDO program, and we have not explored that area much, but there are quite a lot of interest, and there are some BSDO programs where they have some kind of sync between BSDO and BSMD. I do not have much details as we did not look into the DO program. Now, where do you find the universities that provide the BSMD program? Where we researched. Basically, senior year, we stuck to one website. Oviya, can you name that website?
Application architect.
And we'll put that in our description box. Her name is Darlene, and she keeps that up to date, and I followed that towards end of fall semester, not end, beginning of the fall semester, when we were trying to find out the requirements and such. She keeps it up to date, so go out and check out her website. And in the past there were many universities, they used to offer this BSMD program, but looks like they are coming down. Many are shutting down this BSMD program, I heard, because of funding. Example, Rice and Baylor, they shut down their program, but Baylor to Baylor is still available, which we'll cover later on. And also WashU, one of the big good universities, they stopped this program. And also Boston University, they stopped this program. And there are many, I can't, I don't have top of my head, but there are many good universities. Even Northwestern, they stopped this program. There are some universities, they are changing how the guaranteed seat. Example, Temple. Earlier, Temple University used to offer this BSMD, but now what they do, you get into their 4-year undergrad program. By end of first year, they open the application for their in-university students. From there, they give you a guaranteed seat. So they kind of changing their requirements. So you need to constantly look out. If your kids are in a senior school, just go out and look into the universities and say if they have any change their requirements, or all those things. Hello everyone. As of now, we are in 3 hours mark into our drive. We passed Nashville, somewhere going towards Louisville. And so this vlog idea is the last minute. Definitely I didn't think it through, but when I discussed this with Oviya, for sure I need to put that in a proper order. So any parents or parents with their kids who want to watch this will get an idea, like how I like to hear it, right? Until now, I discussed about this. We discussed about this program. What is BSMD? Who should apply? What colleges? Such and such. Now, I think, right, Oviya, we can transition into our experience, right? How we applied, where we applied, and our process, and what made us successful, why we chose Case Western at the end. We'll come to that part at the end. Hopefully it doesn't bore them. I know it's gonna be a long video, and hopefully it's not dragging out too much, but I need to spend my next 7 hours, so please bear with us. So Oviya, the next question we are gonna discuss related to, when did you get interested into the medical area, and what was your process when you are sure about it? Can you just explain it?
In elementary and middle school, I liked the science classes more than the others. I liked anything science related, and I knew I'm not very artsy, I'm not very creative, unlike my sister who is into all things fashion, crocheting, knitting, all that. But I wasn't very good at that. And then I did take a few computer science classes in middle school and high school, but I didn't think programming was for me. And in 8th grade, I took a medical detectives class where we started doing labs, science labs, and that's when I knew medicine was something that I wanted to go in. Well, I knew it was something I was interested in. And in 9th grade, we had different career academies, and I chose the medical one. And so it's a 4-year pathway where we take different classes related to medicine. And so that class plus biology were my favorite classes, and I started to shadow medical professionals from 9th to junior year, and that's when by the end of junior year, I knew that I wanted to do medicine because I was very interested in it.
Exactly. So, on the next, we want to discuss how we shortlisted the universities which offer the BSMD program we applied to based on what all these informations. Probably Oviya can cover this area more. Oviya, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. When I entered high school, I knew a few of my seniors were applying to these type of programs, and so that was basically how I came to know about BSMD programs, and they were kind of the people that inspired me to apply to these type of programs because I knew I was interested in medicine. So when I was a sophomore, my dad created a big list of all the colleges that offered BSMD programs, and then from that point on to senior year, we looked at its medical school, the ranking, what it offers, the location, and its residency matches. And then during my senior year, I looked at the list and I shortened it down, kind of confirmed what I was going to apply for. So I looked at what the undergrad offered, the location, and the medical school, what the medical school offered, and the ranking. And I'm from Alabama, so I had my in-state college was UAB. It's a very good school, as a very good medical school, and it has a BSMD program, so I knew for certain I was going to apply to that one. And then I chose 5 more to apply to out of state, and that's how I decided on which BSMD programs I was applying to.
Exactly. So fortunately, our Madison city schools, it's a very good school system where the kids are very competitive, and since we know we are going to apply, we thought, okay, let's do some research, and we did. Luckily, Oviya, when during her summer break between junior and senior year, she was at home and she was doing some EMT different program, and we had more time in our hand, and we shortlisted the universities where definitely she's going to apply. My interest was very much into UAB, my in-state, because I want her to be in-state. But we cannot just rely on one university, right? I mean, even though it's in-state, where she have a better chance, still I think her desire and hopes were somewhere else. Well, end of the day, it's her, and so we shortlisted. She put a big priority on the top university she want to apply, and luckily she did get into the top universities where she want to go, so which is all up on her, credit to her. To our process, let's start with stats. Personally, I think we both feel nobody knows the exact formula how the universities choose based on your stats. Whoever out there trying to apply, don't get discouraged by some of the small bad scores or grades. I really do not want you guys to take it very seriously. I know on the requirements on the websites, they do say certain stats is a must, and there are a lot of discussion boards, especially kids, they speak too much about stats, which I really think it is not true. But since that discussion comes up a lot when the parents and kids come and ask us, I thought, okay, we are speaking our experience, why don't we discuss, right? I mean, I know Oviya was a little hesitant, but I do Oviya, it's up to you. What do you speak about your stats?
So for my stats, my GPA was around 5.38, and then that in terms of ranking, which I don't think it's also really important where you rank among your senior class because each school is different. But my ranking was I came 5th out of my whole senior class. But again, I don't think it's that important. And each school's GPA system is a little different. But as long as you keep good grades and you're taking your schedule is more on the rigorous side of the school, I think that's all that matters is that you're challenging yourself in your coursework. And then in terms of my ACT score, I tried both ACT and SAT, and I found that ACT, I liked doing the ACT better, and I got a 35. And then for my APs and dual enrollments, altogether the number of AP classes and dual enrollment classes I took came up to 21 or 22. So I did challenge myself throughout high school and when I take classes, and I think that's the most important things when it comes to the stats part of your application.
So there are schools which follow IB, not AP, and IB I heard it's even difficult, and they do like 10 or 12. So as I say, there is no benchmark, there is no number game in it. So do not hang up on that. But as she said, they do see the rigorous coursework and the type of AP classes you take. Try to just don't stick to science alone. Maybe you can try out other AP levels, like even computer science APs also you can try out. They see how much you try to spread yourself out and how much you improve. If you get in APs a B or something, do not get disheartened. I do see there are discussions where the kids say, oh, I got B in one AP classes, is that a bad? No, I do not think, but I don't know the real formula. As I said, whatever we discuss, it's our personal experience, but I don't think it matters. But I think, Oviya, you didn't discuss about one thing. In 2025, the SAT, ACT was optional, but I heard like from 2026 it's a mandatory. The optional is only for the undergrad, but for the BSMD it is a mandatory. You have to submit your ACT or SAT scores even for our 2025 year cycle. Additionally, I have to say that some people say that SAT is the preferred option. No, I don't think so. But you can try the ACT. It's all kids to kids. Some kids are very good, and some kids are good with ACT. Some kids are good with SAT. So try out both. Try out both and see where it works out for you. So as a parent, here I want to say, like, I had a strategy. Like when she was freshman, I follow the same strategy for my younger one. When she was in her 9th grade, end of the 9th grade, and I said, okay, pick SAT or ACT, try out first during that summer vacation. She did prepare and did attempted. Then I think the following summer I said, okay, now pick SAT. They tried. They saw the difference, then eventually they stuck with one. So she said she liked ACT. So she went with ACT. Second attempt she got 35. She decided, no, I'm not going to go do further, because there's no really difference between a 35 and 36, right? So do not hang up. I think the requirement is like even 34 or 33 is good enough. Depends on university. So don't just hang up on numbers. That's all I'm going to say. After the stats, most of the questions come related to the extracurricular activities. Like I mentioned, for the stats, don't just hang up on the numbers. For the extracurricular, there is a usual norm where people say, oh, you need to be extremely good with STEM related activities. You need to do like research papers. You need to be patented. You need to be ISCF, one candidate. And I do know this normal formula is attached to the BSMD acceptance, which I completely find it false. No, it is not true at all. In fact, we are the best example because with related to Oviya, she had a very balanced extracurricular. She had a well balanced STEM related and also a well balanced humanity related. Just for this discussion sake, Oviya, I will ask you, can you list out your top 5 extracurricular which you think contributed and made you stood out in the BSMD applications?
So my top 5 were dance, chess, global minds, research, and EMT. So starting with dance, that was my sport that I did, and I've done it since 3. I did ballet specifically from 3 all the way to 18. And when I got into high school, I even started assisting with a few dance classes. So I would help teachers in classes filled with younger kids, and I would just help, perform combinations for the class and just give them corrections. So that's what I would do after I would do some of my regular classes. And then chess, I was the chess team president. I also I played in competitions around my city, and I became a coach and tournament director in high school as well, just to get more involved in tournaments. So I just wouldn't play, I would also coach an elementary school, so after their games. And Global Minds, this was a personal project for me. So at my school, I started an organization. It's actually a national organization, but I opened a chapter at my school where the Global Minds basically teams up with the ESL, or English as a Second Language department at our school. And basically we would help some of the ESL students with some of their classes because of language barriers. We would also help practice conversational English with them by just talking to them. So that's a brief description of what Global Minds is. And then research, I worked under a professor, Dr. Hamilton. He's at the University of Houston, but he's a muscle physiologist that studies the soleus muscle. So I did a project underneath him, and I learned a lot from that, specifically the research process of analyzing an observation and then carrying out an experiment. And that's what I did majority of high school. And then my final one, the EMT program, so I went into EMT school at my local community college the summer before my senior year. And after that class was over, I took national tests and I passed, so I became a certified EMT. But the reason the EMT program was so pivotal in my application was because we had to do clinicals at the end of the EMT program, and there was a few experiences that stuck out to me that eventually ended up in my Why Medicine essay, and so it was a really great experience to be part of that program. So those were the top 5 extracurriculars.
Yeah, I would certainly agree to that. I know she had additional activities which we can discuss. I know quite a few interested to hear, and those are a little bit common. But I would say one thing, don't stick with the same formula. Even though she's listing her formula, like what are her top 5 things which got her into multiple BSMD programs. Find your unique path. That's somewhere I read, and we've been working on it. Be unique. I would say her unique was whatever the activity she took was. She stuck with that for a very long, be it like dance, like 15 plus years. She dedicated to. It shows your consistency and your perseverance, for so many years on an activity. And yes, the global mind, which personally I felt really stood out, because that's like a humanities side, what she did. Usually STEM related clubs take too much of priorities under this, but I would definitely say do not stick to that. Find yourself unique. Go away from the regular formula. That I will definitely gonna repeat this. Kids, they try out something and they fail on some things and they move on and say, okay, I'm gonna stick to this path. So probably, Oviya, we need to discuss about some of the setbacks which you had, and you need to change your path. Okay,